He thought it was just a device, lights, frequencies, harmless. But the second the God helmet powered on, the room changed. The air went heavy. The walls felt distant, unreal. He felt a hand on his shoulder, warm, familiar, family standing behind him. But they weren't the only ones there. Something else had stepped into the room, silent, watching, waiting in the corner. Tonight, on Myths, Monsters, and Mullets, one experiment opened a door, and not everything that came through was welcome.
Out in the woods, shadows creep slow. Footprints deep where no man should go. Cold winds howl through hollers and brooks. Whispers of Bigfoot in the way it looks. Myths, monsters, and bullets in the night. Under a pale moon, strange glowing light. Truth out there like a blade it cuts. Myths, monsters, and mullets run amok.
Welcome back to Myths, Monsters, and Mullets, the show where the strange, the unexplained, and the weird take center stage, and where the people behind the encounters matter just as much as the encounters themselves. We're not just here to talk about what was seen. We're here to understand who saw it, how it changed them, and why it still matters. Before we get started, quick shout out to our supporters over on Patreon. If you'd like to help keep the show independent, ad-free, and unapologetically weird, head on over to our Patreon. You'll find members episodes, early access to all the public episodes, and bonus material you won't see or hear anywhere else. If you've had an encounter or something strange that you've just never been able to explain, I want to hear from you. Email me at mythsandmullets@gmail.com. That's mythsandmullets@gmail.com. Your experience could be featured on a future episode. It's coming up fast. Mark your calendars. June 6th, 2026. I'll be speaking at the Arkansas Cryptid Fest in North Little Rock, Arkansas. If you're into cryptids, folklore, and listening to great speakers, that's where you need to be. If you haven't yet, make sure you've hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're following me on all your favorite podcast platforms. Give this episode a like, leave a comment, leave us a review. That'll help us with the algorithm, and that's the best way to grow the show. Make sure you check the descriptions on all my episodes. Down below, you're going to find a list of all my favorite podcasts, from Nevermore Hollows, Drunken Cryptids, Chumming with the Spirits, Ghost Gossip, and so much more. And while you're over there listening to their shows, leave them a comment and tell them John sent you. And with that, let's start the show. Welcome back to Myths, Monsters, and Mullets. I am your host, John Methencamp. On tonight's show, we have Paranormal Paul. And Paul contacted me, I don't know, a couple months ago and said, "Hey, John, I'd love to have the mullet on Paranormal Among Us." And I said, "Well, absolutely." So I went on their show. We did a live. And after the show, Paul was like, "Man, I'd love to come back and see the mullet on your show." So Paranormal Paul, why don't you introduce yourself to my audience?
You know, it's all about the mullet. I love the mullet.
Yeah. I mean, normally it's the chicks that dig it, but apparently.
Okay. Now that sounded a little weird. You know. Anyway, how do we recover from that?
Well, you just introduce yourself. That'll segue right out of that.
I am Paranormal Paul. I have a podcast called Paranormal Among Us, found on YouTube. I've been doing this for it'll be 3 years in March, I believe, and having a great time doing it. It started out me just doing interviews with people that I find very interesting in this community, and then I met a few people, and it blossomed to where I needed to have a co-host. And I just taken off from there. I met so many just wonderful, awesome people doing this stuff, and it's just an absolute blast doing it. I've done a few investigations and stuff, haunted locations and stuff, and haven't been in the woods yet. Although I have found a footprint. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But yeah, I just the whole thing is just so fascinating to me, and I love every second of doing this. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
And one of the things that I've noticed getting into podcasting, because I was very nervous about doing it because
Mm-hmm.
I had no inkling of that I would ever be doing a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But once I started doing it and I started meeting people that have paranormal podcasts,
Mm-hmm.
dude, the community is great.
It is.
Like everybody's willing to help each other. It's like, hey, let's do a collab.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes it so easy. You know,
Exactly.
when people like you reach out to me and say, "Hey, I want you on my show," and then I can have you as a guest,
Yeah.
and we learn things from each other. That's the thing that I really enjoy is nobody's like hoarding the information. You know,
One
I
hundred
love it.
percent. I mean, it's all about getting together and helping each other. We're all looking for the same thing. We're all looking to find answers to what's in the woods, what's behind the walls, and stuff like that. We're not. There are a few stinkers in this. I try to distance myself from them. I've known a few, and we've gone separate ways, and that's fine. I don't care what they think and stuff, and I'm not out here trying to change people's opinion. If they believe something, if they believe Bigfoot isn't real, if they believe ghosts aren't real, that's them. I mean, I don't care as long as they don't, come into the show and make fun of everybody and everything. That's all fine. But if a guest or something or a story or an encounter that I have or a guest has can possibly change somebody's mind, then you know what? Maybe that's fun. I mean, and like you said, that we're all here to learn what's going on, not to prove anybody wrong or make fun of people. While making fun of people is kind of fun sometimes. But
I mean, I do it,
yeah, me too. Yeah.
especially Alan from Nevermore Hollows. That guy deserves it. Not really. He was the first person that convinced me to start the
Mhm.
podcast. So he's my I call him my brother. He really
Yep.
is.
Yep.
So
Yep.
so what got you started in the paranormal? I mean, usually everybody has that one thing that happened when they were little or the one TV show or something. What was it for you?
So I had been doing different podcasts for quite a while. I think since before COVID, I do sports podcasting, do like general interests. I was a producer on like a political show, which I hated, which I ended up sitting in the background, just doing one of these, the whole thing. But and nothing really seemed to catch on. I did one that was I live here in St. Louis. It was a St. Louis high school sports scene, is what I called it, and I thought, man, this is going to be great. You know, Nobody really talks about high school sports too much here. It's just a few seconds on Friday night lights for football during football season, and here and there in basketball season and stuff. So this is going to be great. I'm going to have athletes on. I have coaches on. It's going to be fun. It was a big old flop. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm just going to bide my time. And, if maybe somebody comes up with a great idea. And then, I'm watching the TV show Ghost Adventures with Zach. Not crazy about him anymore. But and that was really interesting to me. And I'm thinking, you know what? It would be kind of cool to get back into podcasting and do like a paranormal thing because I love doing it. I love the subject. I like to learn more about it. So I had a knee replacement in January of 23, and I'm laying there doing my rehab and stuff and recovering. And I was talking to this guy. His name is T. Krulos. He has a Mothman book, and I was reading it. He actually sent it to me for free. I'm like, okay, that's kind of neat. So I'm reading it, and I'm like, you know what? I don't even know how I got in touch with this guy now to where he would send me a free book. So I reached out to the guy, and I'm like, this is way out of my comfort zone. And I'm like, because he had been doing some podcasting and stuff. I'm like, dude, I need some tips. I'm thinking about doing starting a new podcast on paranormal. And his response was, well, quit thinking about it and just do it. I'm like, okay. So, I mean, I had the microphone, I had the camera, I had all the setup. I'm like, I just went ahead and did it. And, that was March of 23. And it's been fun ever since. And just, like I said, amazing people have come and gone. So it's awesome.
So you never had like a ghost encounter or anything like that growing up?
I never really thought I did until I started doing this. And then I'm thinking, okay, maybe some of the knocks that I heard when I was a kid were real. Maybe. So one time in my old house, which actually was the house my mom grew up in, I ended up living in there for a little bit, my first marriage, and then after that, got divorced. Anyway, I remember
Blame it on the house. Blame it on the house.
I think so, because my grandparents probably didn't like her, and get her out of there. So anyway, one night, and I don't know if this was a dream or if this was real, but it was really vivid, so it could have been real. I remember laying in bed at night and hearing. So right outside my bedroom door was the basement steps, and the door would open and kind of block the bedroom door. I had 2 cats, and I could have swore I heard something walking up the steps, and I could have swore I heard that door open. I didn't see anything after that. I couldn't move. I was talk about sleep paralysis. I couldn't move. I was just, I don't know if it was fear or what. I didn't really remember feeling too terribly scared. I just like, I couldn't move. Like, what is this? So, I mean, there's that. In this house, this was probably, my son's 18, probably 15, 16 years ago. We have a 2-story house. I used to work overnights, and my wife was doing laundry at the time. It was late at night or something. And right outside this door, no. She wasn't doing laundry. She was, we had 2 cats again. And I don't know if you have pets, but when you hear the pet starting to throw up, you hear that sound, you're up out of bed cleaning that up or getting them off the bed or whatever. You hear it. You're boom, you're going. And she's cleaning up the cat puke, and she had her back to the stairwell. And as she was standing up, she turned around and she saw a black figure come up the steps, out the landing, and come back up the steps toward her, and it just kind of dissipated. So at the time, we called it the Amish guy because it had the black top hat, the trench coat on, and everything. We just thought it was called it the Amish guy. And, a few weird things happened, like things were misplaced, and that's the Amish guy did that. The Amish guy did that. So fast forward to my first year doing this, I had a guy on. I think he was a psychic or something. I don't remember who he was. He turned into be kind of a jerk, so he's actually banned. I was interviewing the guy, and he was describing the Hat Man. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. Tell me about the Hat Man. He described it to a T of what my wife described it. And I would love to go back and see this video, because I'm probably just the whole time. And he showed me a picture, and I got the picture, and I showed my wife, and was this the thing that you saw? 100%. That was what she saw coming up the steps. So wow. It didn't have the red eyes. It just had, you couldn't see anything. It was just all black. So we had the Hat Man here.
So let me ask you this real quick. So she's awake during this.
Yep.
Because a lot of times when people report the Hat Man, there seems to be they're in bed, and a lot of times they've taken Benadryl or cold medicine or something like that. But this is different. This is wide awake, and there's no doubt about this. Wow.
Yeah, I mean every story that I've heard is it's in the corner of the bedroom, and then it comes hovering over the bed, or something that, like you said, something to do with the bedroom. But this was completely different. coming up the stairs, and then not real. I guess, I mean, it had to have seen her. I mean, she's in the foyer out here, and it just kind of dissipated before it got up to the top of the steps. What's even weirder, we were on vacation this past summer. My son was at band, and they got selected to perform in a parade in Hawaii, which was really cool. So we're on vacation, and we had our neighbor's daughter stay here, so we didn't have to put our dogs. They didn't have to board the dogs or put it with my 80-year-old mother-in-law, which she probably appreciated. So she's staying here. She spent the night here. She had, in a week's time, she had 3 dreams of the Hat Man. And you know, when we got back, she didn't say anything right away. It was a couple months afterwards, and it was the same thing, that it was standing in the by the steps. It was just standing there. It wasn't doing anything else, but standing again on the steps, not in the bedroom, on the steps. But it was just watching her. It wasn't coming up the steps, wasn't going down the steps or anything. It was watching her on the steps. And I showed her a picture. I'm like, okay, was this the guy? To a T. That's what she saw.
Holy cow. And you said this is coming from your like ground level to the second story, correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
It's not like a basement or anything.
Nope.
Holy cow.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was weird because she didn't tell us at first. And then, you know, one time we had everybody over, all the neighbors over, and we're having a good old time, and she's like, you know, tell them about the dreams you had while you were here. And she told us, and I'm like, holy crap.
Wow.
And to this day, I haven't seen them. So my wife and the girl down the street have both seen the Hat Man in the house.
Wow. And your wife hasn't seen it since?
No. Yeah, the one time that she saw it was a one and done with that thing. So she hadn't seen it. I mean, I wish, as long as it's just kind of hovering and just watching, I wouldn't mind seeing it, but that's fine. But, you know, other than that, we've had, we were sitting, it was not this past football season, but the prior season, I guess 24, 25, maybe. I was sitting watching a playoff game or something, watching a football game. And so the couch that I was sitting on, right behind me is a wall, is a short wall, and then the kitchen's right behind that. And my wife was back there in the kitchen making dinner or something. And I was sitting on the couch with my dog, because no one else sits on the couch and watches football with me. It's just me and my dog. We have surround sound. We have surround sound speakers in the ceiling, but they weren't on at the time, and I can 100% they weren't on. All of a sudden, up in the upper right-hand corner of the room, I hear, it was some great play was just made or whatever, and I heard, "Oh my God." And I'm like, "Honey, did you say something?" "No, I thought you said something." So we both heard it. There was something there, and I think the dog kind of was looking around too. So there's that. And again, this happened after I started my show, so this was probably about last year. So that's just creepy, and not really creepy. I mean, it wasn't. Nothing really ever happened to it. I mean, if it was somebody just watching, there was more actually. If somebody was watching football with me, hey, that's great. You know, it's fine. You know, come on in, watch football. I don't care. But yeah, that was really kind of weird. And we both heard it. I didn't feel cold. It didn't have any smell except what my wife was making, which was pretty good. I can't remember what it was, but it was pretty good. So yeah, there was none of the classic signs of a demonic thing or anything negative or anything. So
Have you noticed, and I've heard this from other podcasters, that after you start doing your show,
mm-hmm.
it's like it opens up, you know, activity around you. It happened to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I was on your show and I told you my encounter.
Did.
That happened shortly after I started my show.
Mm-hmm. I 100% think that. Um, whatever we're doing is it's opening us up, and we're able to see whatever it is that's out there. And I 100% believe that us doing this type of show, getting into this field, is helping us to break through the veil, or whatever, see the other side, or whatever. So yeah, I 100% believe that.
I kind of wondered after having my encounter if it wasn't the other side trying to scare me away from doing this.
Could be.
Like you're getting too close to the truth. Or the other thing is, you want to really know what's out there? Let me show you.
Can you handle this? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's weird. I have a EMF meter going, and now it's stopped, but it's been buzzing the whole time. So
maybe I should turn my cat balls on. Got my little motion balls here.
Got mine there too. I didn't have that on. But yeah, I 100% believe that. And, I wish, and I've been working with some mediums and stuff, and remote viewers, trying to, strengthen my ability to see things, to understand things, I guess. But, I'm not there yet. I can't walk through a room and, oh, look, there's a ghost right there. I'm not quite there yet, which I don't know if it would be a good thing or not, because I've gone through a haunted location with a medium before, and it's pretty fun. It's pretty interesting, watching them walk down the hallway, stop, turn, face a wall. Oh, hi, what's your name? My name's Jilly. That's a little weird.
I have a problem with mediums.
Really?
Because now I'm not saying there aren't people who are mediums, but there's way too many of them.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a lot of people who one time predicted something, or, was like, hey, I feel like this is going to happen. And then all of a sudden they're mediums, so to the audience, what I'm saying is, just because somebody says they're a medium,
right.
Take it with a grain of salt. There needs to be some proof to it, not just, hey, I'm a medium, not because I'm telling you I'm a medium.
And I think all of us have some kind of ability in medium ability, or whatever you want to call it. I think we all have that. It's just that some people are more attuned to it, and others maybe not. Like, I want to try and strengthen that, because I've done a few things to where I think something's going to happen. Oh, okay. John just called. Oh, interesting. Or you're talking about somebody, and they show up, or you dream about something and they're there. Which, another thing, I've had dreams about my parents, and a really weird thing. My parents both deceased. My friend's mom died, I think 2 weeks before Christmas, 2 or 3 weeks before Christmas. Shortly after that, I had a dream about her. She came to me in a dream, and she had Parkinson's disease, and she was just in really, really bad shape. So it was kind of a blessing that she passed on. She actually came to me in a dream, and she was just all smiles, all happy. I'm doing great. I'm just loving where I'm at now. And I'm like, I mean, that was her. I know it was her. I've known this gal for 40 years or so. But yeah, it was her 100%. And I told her daughter, one of my best friends, and she's like, she just busted out crying. Okay, she's fine. I don't have to worry about her now. So that was kind of neat.
What do you say to people who think that everything is demonic?
I'd say it's probably not. There could be some nasty spirits, yeah, tricksters, but as far as demonic entities go, I don't think they're as common as people think. And they would let you know that it's not just somebody, I don't know, playing a trick on you or something, or it's something really nasty, and you would get a really nasty vibe being around this. That I really don't think that things are demonic, as they say.
Yeah. My buddy Rod from Lodge Tales, we had a discussion about this, and I had asked him, how do you tell the difference between an evil spirit and a good spirit in their culture? And he's like, well, you just know, if it feels bad, it's probably bad. If it feels good, it's probably good. And I think that's true. I think
Yeah. But I think you can also be around something that feels bad that isn't necessarily demonic. There's this museum that we go to out near Kansas City called Ray County Museum, and it's pretty haunted. There's 58 rooms in this place, and each one of them has a little something going on in there. And it's shaped in a Y, 2 stories plus a basement. Each hallway, 3 of the 4 hallways are fine. You walk down the hallway, you don't feel anything. You walk down this 4th hallway up on the top floor, and the second you cross that threshold into that hallway, you feel completely different. I don't. It's kind of hard to describe how it feels. It's just it feels heavy. It feels just not nice. And we got down to one of the rooms, and I think it was a school room, and one of the gals that I don't think she was on with you when you were on my show, Krista. She wasn't on with you, was she? No. She has been choked in that room by an entity. I think that could be demonic. And it would trigger off, do something like that for pretty much no reason, for you just being in that room. In the same area, in the room called the Civil War room, I was in there trying to get, there's supposed to be a spirit of a guy that likes opening and closing this little cabinet door. And I had the door open, and I was, telling the guy, we kept getting, we had a voice box, REM pod going, and no, spirit box going. I'll get it right. And we kept getting leave. I would ask him to close the door. We'd keep getting no, leave. So we kept going. It's like, no, I want you to close this door and then I'll leave. Sure enough, I got scratched, but it was 5 scratches down my leg. It wasn't 3, which is demonic. It was, I think that was just somebody saying, hey, look, I'm in charge here. You're not. This is your warning. Go. Little boy, go, little boy. So I got the hell out of there. But that, I think if that were demonic, I would have had, 3 scratches. I could have gotten choked, marked real bad. Maybe, something even worse than that. But I think that's kind of the difference, that, a nasty entity is going to let you know that it's there. It's not going to hurt you much. It'll scratch you or something. But a demonic entity, and this is just my opinion, I don't know, could be right, could be wrong, I don't know.
like we said before, there's no experts in this.
Right, exactly. A demonic will cause you harm and choke you. I don't know what else a demonic entity would do, but it would just be nasty, and you would know it, I think.
Right.
So
right. Speaking of Kansas City, have you ever talked to the guys from Chumming with the Spirits?
Mm-mm.
I'm gonna hook you up.
Okay.
They're out of KC. Good friends of mine. They're in my little circle of podcasters. So
I will be out that way in March 6th, I believe. I'm going back to Ray County.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely get you in touch with them guys. They're a lot of fun.
Sweet.
But that was just a side note.
Squirrel.
Right. That's kind of how my show goes, though. It's fine.
Yeah.
So you said earlier that you found a footprint.
I'll send you the picture afterwards here.
Okay.
But there's this place up in Marthasville, Missouri, which is about an hour away from me, hour northwest from where I'm at, near Union, Missouri, in just outside of O'Fallon, Missouri. So it's a pretty neat place. It's called Emmaus Asylum. Big, huge, sprawling facility. Three buildings that you can go through, plus there's like 4 or 5 other ones that are there. That one's a chapel, and if you at night, if you're on the grounds, you can look up to the chapel. You can't go in it, but you can look up there. People have seen spirits walk by the stained glass windows and stuff there. Where was I going with it? Oh, the print. So we had just gotten back from Richmond, Missouri, which we had a conference out there that we went to. We were just coming back, and some of the people wanted to see Emmaus on the way back to St. Louis. So I'm like, oh, we could stop by there, and they hooked us up with an Airbnb there for the night. So we spent the night there, about 5 or 6 of us. And a couple of them hadn't gone investigating before, ghost investigations before. So we went through Emmaus, got growled at a couple times, and had a great time. Had a couple communications, used dowsing rods, which were pretty cool. But then the whole night we were there, the Airbnbs are across the street from there. Like two of them from our group didn't go with us into the asylum. They stayed outside, and they were, sitting outside talking. It was a beautiful night. All night, they kept saying that they heard howling and whoops and weird noises coming from the woods. It's kind of in a bowl, and there's woods on both sides of it. So they also said they kept seeing white lights in the trees and up high in the trees, which kind of, one of the times when I was there, we were running an event there. So we were outside, a bunch of people were inside walking around. I went around back, I was seeing a lot of like white lights high in the trees again. So fast forward to this past September, they were telling us, we got back, they were telling us that what they heard and what they saw in the trees. I'm like, that's interesting. We've seen that before. So we sit out, and we're hearing these noises from the woods, and we had a few beers and stuff, and nobody got really drunk or anything. So we all know this was really going on. The next morning, everybody left. Natalie, who was on the show when you came on, she was doing some kind of filming over at the asylum. So she was over there filming. I didn't go with her because I didn't want to get in her way. And I was filming with my towards the woods by the Airbnb, away from the asylum, and I got some knocking sounds and stuff. I don't know, because there are some I don't know if they're squatters or what that live kind of close to the asylum. I don't know if they were building something or not, but the sound, it didn't sound consistent with hammering. I mean, you would hear duh, duh, duh.
Right.
So I mean, duh, 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 that's the hammering. You don't hear it. I don't know anybody that hammers like this. So, I mean, it could be. I don't know. I haven't really sent it to many people. So she finishes filming at the asylum. We walk back around the tree line, and I looked down. I think I saw like an egg. Like, it's weird having an egg there. And I looked down again, and there was this footprint. I'm like, holy shit. And she's an experienced Bigfooter. So I'm like, Natalie, what is this? And she looked at it. Sure enough, that was a big print. We measured it at 18 and a half inches.
Holy cow.
Yeah. And she put I got a picture of it without her foot near it and with her foot right next to it for scale. I showed it to a few people, and some people said, yeah, that's definitely a Bigfoot. Somebody said it was a Dogman print. I don't know. I'll send it to you here.
Yeah.
We found another one, but it wasn't as deep and as defined. But this one, you could definitely see the toes, the heel, the mid break in the foot and everything. It was pretty damn cool. And I'm like, I hadn't ever gone in the woods before. I haven't ever gone squatching before. I've talked to plenty of people about it. I'm interested in doing it. Now I'm really interested in getting out there and seeing what's going on, and, possibly seeing structures or whatever. And if I can see this on the very first try without even trying to find it, I mean, what the hell?
I think that's how it works, though.
Yeah.
Because you hear about these people, they spend years, decades in the woods trying to get proof and never come across anything. But then you got some Joe Blow driving down the road and his dash cam picks it up.
Yeah. Yeah. And, it was about 20 yards away from where we were staying, which a little creepy. But
Right.
I mean, we were in an Airbnb, so it was a structure. I mean, it couldn't have been damaged too difficult. I mean, not like we were in a tent. But yeah, that was so far my one and only, I don't know if you want to call it a Bigfoot encounter, but experience. Let's call it an experience. Yeah.
I've never found a track yet.
Yeah.
So
And it was
you're one step ahead of me. See what I did
gotcha.
there?
But yeah, that was really cool. And that I think that really opened my eyes to it. And, even that morning we were still hearing a little bit of knocking. We didn't see any orbs or anything, but were those white lights orbs? Could be.
You hear reports, in Sasquatch encounters of these orbs or ghost lights, whatever you want to call them, associated with Sasquatch.
Mm-hmm. And they kind of look like lightning bugs. I don't know what you guys call them in different parts of the world, but the bugs that light up and stuff in the summer, you see those all over the place. It kind of looked like that, but like really bright white, and a lot bigger up in the trees from a great distance. You could really tell it.
Yeah, you hear reports of them being the size of basketballs. You hear some of them say, they're like a baseball, something like that. But they did it light up the area, or was it just like the light was self-contained in that ball?
I mean, it was just self-contained in that ball. I mean, you would just see like a little white light show up. Almost look like someone was shining a flashlight at you. And I mean, it didn't light up anything around you or anything around it. You just see a little white light in the trees, kind of hovered there. You didn't really see it move. It just kind of, there it is, and there it's gone.
Wow.
Yeah. And,
yeah, I've had a weird light experience in the woods. Nothing like that, though. But yeah, there is just so much weird stuff out there.
Yeah.
And once you start doing things like what we're doing, and you start hearing all these different encounters, things like that, and it just starts opening your mind to things that happened to you in the past.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to me. I've already told that story on your show, but I think that people just once you start listening to these other encounters, it just opens you up.
Yeah.
And you start realizing that the world is a lot weirder than what we were told.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. What about UFOs? You ever had any UFO experience?
I don't know. Again, at Emmaus, you get all kinds of stuff there. I don't know what it is about that area. Maybe it's something like the Skinwalker Ranch, that there's something just attracting things to that area, because we had the ghost in the asylum and stuff, and the Bigfoot or whatever it is in the woods around it. People are always talking about looking up in the sky and seeing lights moving in weird directions. Krista, another one of my co-hosts, was saying that she saw 20 one night, 20 possible UFOs in one night, just kind of dancing around the sky up there. So I'm there this one time, and I'm looking off into the distance, and I see this. It almost looked like a plane coming at you. The light was getting brighter and brighter and brighter and bigger, and I'm like, and I kept staring at it because, you know, if you see an airplane, oh, okay, that's an airplane, then you stop looking at it. But I kept staring at this thing, and you know, the airplane has different lights, different colored lights on it. This was just a white light, and it kept getting close. And by getting closer, it was still way miles away from me, but you could still see it, and it was getting bigger. And I just kept watching it, and then all of a sudden, zip, it goes away. I don't know of any plane that could, one, turn its lights out like that right away, or all of a sudden, zoom, just go. Light speed the other way without making a sound. And if it were a plane, from the distance I saw it, you wouldn't have heard it. So I really don't think it's a plane, or it was a plane. Just for the fact that, one, it was just one white light, and it moves so fast to get away. So I mean, I didn't see any craft or anything like that, but other people that I trust have been out there, and they've seen a lot of different crazy lights in the sky doing weird things. So that is a place that I'm definitely going to spend a lot of time this year.
Make sure you take plenty of cameras.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So you can come back on Mist, Monsters, and Mullets and
Hell
tell me
yeah.
what you found.
Hell yeah. You got it. I think I had an attachment once from a place.
Okay. Yeah, let's go. So you say you've had an attachment? I didn't lose my train of thought at all.
No, squirrel. Yeah, every time I go to these locations, my wife always says, have fun, be careful, and you're not allowed to bring anybody back. And by bringing anybody back, she means attachments. So we went down to Brumley, Missouri, which is just outside Lake of the Ozarks, down here, Osage Beach, down here in southwestern Missouri. Place called the Haunted Castle House. And I had seen a couple shows, people investigated there, had voices and stuff come through, and like, okay, this would be kind of a cool place to go. And I had the owner on. He's a really cool guy. He bought it to have it as his paranormal lab, he says. So we get in there, and there's all kinds of weird things in this house. He has one separate room of extremely haunted house. He has several Ouija boards in there, an actual human skull in there. I'm like, okay, this room is weird. I'm out. So the whole night we were walking through the hall, through the house, and not a whole lot happened in there. We got a couple names, but none of the instruments really went off. A couple people were sitting outside. I was just laying down at like 3:00 in the morning, and somebody texted me, "You got to come out here. Weird things are happening." So I really want to go to sleep, but okay. So I get out there, and I didn't see it, but my cat ball is going off. I'm holding on to my cup, so I don't know if I moved it or anything, so we'll throw that out. Now, where was I? Oh, we went outside, and she said, 6 feet in front of her, a black mist just came up and formed right in front of her. I'm like, but there was a motion sensor light that would go on whenever there's movement by the house. Every time that went on, everything felt normal when the light was on. When the light went off, and there was no breeze this night at all. Nothing. We would get something like a cold breeze coming between us, you would feel. But then once that light went on, nothing. It was the middle of the summer, so it was relatively warm. I would say 70s. So I'm out there in shorts and a t-shirt, so, But then the light would go off and there's something cool would kind of go past you every single time that happened. So, and there was also in the field down a little bit from the house, there was a Civil War encampment down there. So they've heard things down there as well. So we didn't hear anything that night, but so we came home, and this was probably early October, late September. And every year I have my cousins come over on Christmas Eve to do Secret Santa. And in October, September, we have them over to draw names, have a little party with the cousins and stuff. And it's fun. So, and that's my dad's side of the family, who, like I said before, dad passed away in 17. And he's a big fan. He loved his family. So I'm standing at the sink, and we have an island kind of to the left of the sink. I was standing at the sink, facing the sink, and to my left was my cousin. And you know those rubber stoppers that you put in the sink to keep the water in? We had one of those on the counter by the faucet. Excuse me. And there's plenty of room on the counter by the faucet to where you could put the stopper up there and it's not going to be hanging off. It went off again. I'm not touching anything. So, like I said, my cousins are all there. My dad's side of the family is all there. All of a sudden, the stopper flips up into the sink. And I'm standing right there. My cousin saw it. We were the only two people that saw it. I'm like, you saw that, right? And she said, yeah. So I'm trying my damnedest. I put it back up there. I'm jumping in front of the sink to kind of shake the floor. Nothing. I turned the garbage disposal on. That's really the only time that it moved a little bit, but it didn't flip over. So I couldn't get that to happen. I couldn't debunk that at all. And, you know, people were in the other room. Nobody was jumping on the couch. Nobody was jumping on the floor or anything. So I don't know what that is. About a week.
And this was in your house now?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's going off again.
I got the same cat balls.
Whoop! Shit. I just dropped my camera behind there. She would have seen all kinds.
Exact same ones.
Yeah. So then, about a week or so later, I'm up in our bathroom taking a shower, and we have glass doors in our shower. And I have my phone on the counter, and I have a Bluetooth stereo in the shower, so I'm listening to music. And I noticed my phone lit up, like I got a text or something. And I'm looking at it. So it's on the edge of the counter. It's edge of the counter, and if you're looking at it, the phone is to the right of the sink, and then on the left part of the sink is my wife's makeup, and she had one of those hair ties, those little black rubber band hair ties. That thing's going off again. I kid you not. Out of the corner of my eye, I see her tie flip into the sink bowl. There's a register return up in the top of the ceiling. The air conditioner wasn't on at the time. I mean, we've had that on, 20 years now we've been in the house. We've never had that happen before. We live, there's
things, I mean, even if you put a fan on those things, they're not moving.
No, they're not going to.
It's not like they've got something that's going to catch wind.
Mm-hmm. And it flipped into the sink. And I'm like, what happened? The only thing that I can think of, and actually shortly after that, I had a medium on. She's going to be on the show. She's been on many times, and she's done readings, and she's very good, actually. Stuff that she can tell you that there's no way that she knows that she comes up with. So anyway, I told her the story, and she said, you had the spirit of a little kid in the house. She didn't know anything about the haunted castle house that I was just at, where there was a little kid haunting there. His name was what the hell was his name? Jeremiah. It might have been Jeremiah. Something beginning with a J. So I'm thinking that.
Do me a favor, real quick.
Yep.
Like, bump your desk a minute. Your camera moved, dude.
Really?
Yeah. It was when you put your hand up, and I thought, well, maybe you elbowed your desk or something.
I did that.
No, it didn't move when you did that. No, your camera moved, dude.
So that was at about 47:30.
Yeah. Well, I'll look back at it before you get off here.
Oh wow. Even in the shows, we've had weird things happen where we hear, voices come through. So who knows what it was? I can't explain that. I don't know what I could have done. The cat ball's been going off like crazy.
Yeah.
Wow, this is a weird night. This is only the second time the cat balls have gone off while I've been on. What was I saying?
We were talking about the little kid.
Oh yeah. So could it be the little kid that was playing tricks? Could be. I don't know. I mean, everybody kept saying you got to sage your house. You got to get rid of this kid. I'm like, you know what? He's not doing anything bad. I certainly, if it was somebody in here that's negative, yeah, I'd be getting the sage out and I'd be saging the house like crazy. But he's just flipping things. I mean, he hasn't hurt anybody here, so I don't know. And it hasn't happened.
The history of the house?
Of this house?
Yeah.
I do know. I remember actually. I grew up about 5 minutes from here, so I remember when this used to be just a field. Okay. And when my wife saw the Hat Man, Amish guy, whatever, I remember because she called it the Amish guy. I remember looking through trying to find some kind of history of Amish people being around here. I couldn't find anything like that at all in this area. I don't know. This was there was a lot of rocks, big, huge rocks in this area. So, I mean, something could be, with the area, something could be embedded in the area. I have no idea. But I mean, this is probably, we've been here 22 years. This is probably a 30-year-old subdivision. So 30, 40 years old. So it's really not that old. But as far as this house, I don't think anybody has died in this house. The people who lived here before us were off the boat Italian. They would make their own wine in the house and stuff. And as far as I know, it was just a husband, wife, and 2 kids in the house. And I don't think anybody died here or anything.
Maybe the ghost is just looking for more of that wine.
Could be. I've had people tell me that they see my parents in the background on shows. So I don't know, or see something in the background. They've described it, and I've showed them a picture of my mom or dad, and yeah, that's them. So
wow,
I don't know. I certainly think that there's something here with us that's it's not a mean thing that's around here. So I don't know.
So do you consider like ghosts and stuff your wheelhouse, or is it's pretty much everything?
I don't know. Getting into this, I was really fascinated with ghosts and UFOs and Bigfoot and other cryptids were just kind of an afterthought. But I really don't. I really don't know. I guess ghosts would be the wheelhouse, but I don't know.
Yeah. So let me ask it a different way. when having encounters on your show, do you gravitate more towards the ghost stories, the cryptid stories, or the UFO stories?
I go in phases. In the beginning, it was mostly ghost stories, um, and then I'd get tired of that, and then I'd have UFOs on or UFOs on UFO stories on. Um, if you're a UFO out there and want to come on a show, please let me know. That would be awesome.
Right?
Ever since September that I found that print, I'm all about Bigfoot. I think since September, I think I've had one non-cryptid show. So and I'm kind of wanting to get back talking more about ghosts and stuff. So, I don't know. It comes in phases with me,
Right.
Yeah.
I just like everything.
Me too. And it seems to be it's all connected. You see the orbs, you see the UFOs, and then you hear stories about Bigfoot right away. You see ghosts, you see UFOs together. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I had I don't know if you want to hear a God's helmet story or not.
Hear
A
what?
God's helmet story?
Lay it on me, man.
Okay. So I was on a investigation someplace down in Arcadia, Missouri. I can't remember the name of the place. But we had somebody that had a God's helmet with us. And if you guys don't know what a God's helmet is, it's a contraption that has a band of lights that goes around your forehead and kind of puts you in a relaxed state, almost like being on LSD, from what I'm told.
It's like electromagnets, isn't it?
Yeah. Kind of shoots electrodes into your brain, relaxes you, helps you see things. So we were on this one show, doing a live from the place. I was actually filming the gal on the under the God's helmet. And this place used to be a Civil War hospital, and she was seeing people in Civil War area clothing, nurses running around behind me and stuff, and spirits coming up behind me, looking at my phone, like, oh wow, look at that, that's kind of cool. So she finished her session in there. You really only go about 15 minutes or so, because you don't want to that'll mess you up. So the host said, "Hey, Paul, why don't you put the God's helmet on?" And I'm kind of thinking about it, and like, didn't really want to, but okay, I guess I'm very easily persuaded, I guess. So there was a guy on there. His name was Sir Brian Bowden. He is a remote viewer. He has never been to this location whatsoever. Never heard of it before he came on the show, but he was in chat on this show, and he was getting all kinds of sightings or whatever in his mind from this location, and he finally came on the show. So after this gal was finished with her God's helmet and it was decided that I was going to put it on, he said, "Paul, you need to go to this area that has a white awning. It's a priest room." There's no way he knew that. And there was a building that had a white awning. It was a priest room. There was no way in the world he knew this. I guarantee it. And he's a good friend of mine. I completely trust him. He tells me he has no idea. I believe him. So we get into this room, and right before I put it on, he said, "You are going to have a fantastic experience. Take a deep breath, get ready for it. It's going to be unbelievable." Like, okay, whatever you say. I put it on. And the white noise you see on TV when the channel's out or whatever, I see that when I put it on. And I continued to see this, but I sensed somebody else in the room with me. There was two actual people filming me. One was filming, the other one was kind of, I guess, watching or whatever. They were off in front of me to the right a little bit. I was at a big, long table, but I could sense somebody sitting in front of me, and I could sense that they sat down. I couldn't see them. And then I felt somebody walk behind me and come and stand on my right side. And I mentioned that, and they said, yeah, there's nobody there. There's nobody with you. But I'm sensing it. And then Brian's on the other end. I can hear everything that's going on the show. And Brian said, yes, there is definitely somebody there. The person that is standing next to you is kind of like a fatherly figure, and described it. It was my dad. Had his hand on my shoulder. And then he said, well, there's a person sitting down at the end of the table, smiling like crazy at you. And an old gentleman, scruffy beard, slick back gray hair, described my grandpa to a T. And I'm like, oh shit, I am having a family reunion here. And then he said that there was a bunch of other family members that they wouldn't come forward or anything to be seen, but they were protecting, keeping everything out of the room. Okay, that sounds like something that they would do. I always pray to them, before I go into a location, keep me safe and everything. Mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, everybody, keep me safe and all that stuff. So that I believe. And then he said, and I'm in the middle of this show, I'm breaking down and I'm crying on the counter and everything. And he said, there's also a gray alien in the room with you guys, but it's keeping everything, your family's keeping everything to the outside. So in this room, I'm getting chills. In this room, it's a long table. On each side, there's a big door, probably about a 7-foot tall door with the glass window above it. And sure enough, I'm at this point, I'm really, really, really trying to see my grandparents, my grandpa and my dad. And I'm like, I just cannot see him. I just see the white staticky look. And I'm getting pissed off. And then I kind of look off to the corner and I'm just staring over there. And sure enough, about 8 feet up off the ground in the window, or in the room by the window, was a gray alien head. Like, are you kidding me? And
he saw this like through remote viewing.
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah. This guy's amazing. I'll hook you up with him too. He's an amazing guy. He's a good friend of mine. He's awesome. Great to talk to. Funny as all hell too. But I mean, he saw all this stuff happening before it even happened. And I mean, just the fact that my grandpa was there just smiling like crazy at me. My dad was there. I could feel him with his hand on my shoulder. I could feel that. Couldn't see it. And that's the thing that really upset me. I was so happy, and I was so excited to have that encounter and feel their presence, because you can feel when your parents are around, your loved ones around you or something. It's them. I know 100% that was my dad, and that was my grandparent, my grandpa.
Wow.
Yeah. And I just I hadn't seen either one of them dad died in 2017. My grandpa died in 94, 2, somewhere in there. So, and we were a close family. So it was just so emotional and so wonderful. Like with your encounter that you got so emotional on. It's stuff like this that you I'm not an actor. I can't act like that. I can't make myself cry on command. But when you see something like that, when you feel something like that, your loved ones coming and seeing you, visiting you, and protecting you like that, that gets you. I just know it was them, 100%.
So the gray alien that's in the corner,
Mm-hmm.
it just sat there.
It was just watching. Anything. It was just watching.
Mm-hmm. Where did you get the God helmet?
Terry Mosby has it. I don't know how somebody made it for her. And she has it, she uses it a lot, and I'll get you in contact with her too if you like.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and she takes it around all kinds of places. People have seen aliens with that, other spirits and stuff with that. I had it at again Ray County Museum. We were in the basement. She had it on doing a session in there, and she was seeing things that were happening 2 rooms away through walls and stuff. I mean, she was describing these. I mean, she walked through the rooms. I mean, she knows what the rooms are, but she sees people are spirits, whatever, in the other rooms. So
Wow.
yeah, it's an amazing piece of equipment, but it's not always positive for everybody. I mean, you could have something totally negative come at you through it and really mess you up. And again, if you go too long with it, you don't want to go too long because you have all these strobe lights, and if you have prone to seizures or anything, you really don't want to have that on. So it's a really cool thing. I would recommend, if somebody wanted to try it, I would recommend trying it, but keep an open mind with it.
Right. I offer myself as tribute.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would try.
Yeah.
I would try.
It's cool. I would do it. I don't know that I would do it again because I had such a great experience. I don't know that I want to risk it again and just leave it at that experience.
Right. Right. What would be your ultimate destination to explore?
I knew you were going to ask that question, and I'm not prepared to answer it. I don't know. I really want to go to a prison, not as an inmate.
I mean, we can arrange
no.
that. No
I'm
problem.
good. I'm good. No, I really want to go. I've had an opportunity to go to Missouri State Penitentiary, which is the bloodiest 20 acres or whatever it is. But something came up and I couldn't go to that. That I want to go there, and I would really love to do an overnight investigation at Alcatraz. That would be awesome, I think.
Right.
I mean,
right. I had somebody on the show that was talking about that, and it's like, I think they said it was like $1,800 for the weekend.
Holy, well, maybe I won't do that.
So
Yeah,
okay, so we talked about the God helmet, and you were talking about going to prison
as a guest.
Oh, okay.
As an investigator.
I would like to go to Land Between the Lakes.
That is another place that I want. It's only like 4 hours from me. It's probably close for you too.
About 6.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
We should get a bunch of podcasters together and just meet and Land Between the Lakes.
Mm-hmm.
I'll sleep in my hammock.
You ain't getting me sleeping by outside. I'm in a tent or in a building or something in there. I had on 2 guys that go there just about every weekend. They do I don't know if it's guided tours or whatever through there. They have a team that investigates there just about every weekend. So yeah, we should and I know another group that really wants to go there. Paranormal 411 wants to go out there. Yeah, we should get a bunch of people who haven't been there before.
Right.
Yeah, because I know a bunch of people that have been there.
Do you know Drunken Cryptids?
No.
Podcast?
No. But it sounds like something that I want to be a part of. Drunken Cryptids.
I'm going to hook you up with some podcasters in my little circle here. June 6th is the Arkansas Cryptid Fest. It's the first year for it. I will be a speaker there.
Really?
It's in North Little Rock, Arkansas. I know they're still looking for vendors. Just saying.
North Little Rock. Okay.
But I'm gonna hook you up. I'm gonna hook you up with some podcasters I think you're gonna get along with.
Okay. Yeah,
'Cause
that's awesome.
I've developed this little network
Mm-hmm.
of, like-minded people
Yeah.
that are willing to help, and, they want to collab and stuff like that. So,
Yeah. Hell yeah. That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
all right. You have anything else you want to add before we wrap this up?
I know I'll think of something later on tonight. I'll give you a call about 1:00.
No, you won't. My phone is on Do Not Disturb already.
Yeah, mine's going to be doing that in about 2 minutes. Man, off the top, I mean, we covered pretty much everything that's happened, and like you said, the more we do this, the more we talk with people, the more we go on these little investigations, the more we open up to things, and I really think, I can only speak for myself, I really think that that's what's happened to me more too. I mean, you getting the weird camera shakes, the cat balls going off and stuff. I think and it's luckily nothing seems to be too terribly negative that is coming through. So I enjoy that. So,
well, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you?
Paranormal Among Us is going to be on YouTube. I have a website, paranormalamongus.com. It has a little bit about the show, links to other podcasts, links to my merchandise store. I also just started doing voiceover acting, links to that. That's paranormalamongus.com. You can find me on Facebook under Paul Anthony. There's also a Paranormal Among Us Facebook page. I think it's a private group. I don't know. We're on, so another group that I'm with, we have a tech guy that takes all of our shows and puts it out on Spreaker and all the podcast platforms. I don't even know what all we're on. So I just do any of your platforms, your favorite places to get podcasts, you can find us there. I know we're on Apple Podcasts for sure, and Spreaker.
Right.
So
I get notifications from podcast players that I've never even heard of before saying, somebody commented or whatever.
yeah.
Like, oh, I didn't even know that one existed, but thank you for listening on that podcast player that I've never heard of.
Cool. Yeah. And there it goes again.
So, well, Paul, I appreciate you coming on tonight.
No problem, brother. Anytime.
And we're gonna have to do it again.
Yep, I enjoyed it.
We'll just come in and bull crap. That's what we'll do.
I like that. I like that idea.
All right, man. Well, thanks again for coming on.
Anytime, John. Sure.
And if you've had a paranormal encounter you'd like to share, you can email me at mythsandmullets@gmail.com. Till next time, talk to you later. Gotta go. And that's it for tonight. Make sure you're checking out the description on this episode for any links associated with the guest. And if you've had a paranormal encounter you'd like to share, you can email me at mythsandmullets@gmail.com. Good night, everyone.
Shadow in the pines lurking in the dusky air. Bigfoot stomps through the woods like he don't care. Lights in the sky flash green then blue. Aliens descending with a secret or two. Whispers in the breeze, cold fingers down your spine. Ghosts in the graveyard, twisting through time. Eyes wide open in the dead of night. The myths and monsters giving one hell of a fright. Oh, Myths, Monsters, and Mullets podcast, spinning wild tales of a future and a past. Hosted by John Methencamp, fiery soul. He takes us where the